Hey guys, what's up? Today is Friday, July 13th, and this is the day before the demo, obviously. And here's the Buick. Yeah, you may be like, why is it on jack stands? Why is it, look, not ready? Well, it is pretty much ready. Pretty much all the other stuff we have to do is optional. It's not really... It's just to make this car a little safer in some places. For example, pulling out this dent on the driver's door. Yeah. I mean, it's a big dent. We may still pull it out, I don't know. Maybe we'll hit it with a hammer a few times. Try to pull it out with maybe drill a hole through here or something, I don't know. We'll figure, we might do it, I don't know. The rear end has now been welded shut because our rules do allow that. It's pretty much on a 3-on, 3-off kind of rule, so 3 inches on, 3 inches off, 3 inches on, 3 inches off, and so on. So this trunk, I don't think it's going to go anywhere, guys. It's already pinched in place from this right here, and you know, I think those welds, although they're not the prettiest welds, I didn't weld it, and we had actually a new welder on it, and I think that person did pretty good. There are a few rough spots, but it's gonna hold. I mean, let's be honest, it's gonna hold. So all that's gonna come in. Hopefully it comes in well, if it does come in at all, I don't know. And upon further inspection, you know, I thought all the W bodies from 97, from 05, all these generation W bodies all had aluminum spindles in the back. But upon further inspection, this one looks metal. I mean, not metal, of course it's metal. Steel. This looks like a steel spindle in the back here, although it's very crusty. And that's why I think it's steel, so I don't know. It sure does look it. It's very different than the Impala setup. It looks steel, so that's a good thing. I did not actually know that. Got a little problem with this rear end here. We got a bunch of rust forming around the rear strut tower here, and we got a hole right there going into the back seat area. But you know what? This is pretty much hopefully going to be the last run for this car. As much as I hate to say it, hopefully this is the last run for this car because, you know, this car can only run at one place, and they have 2 demolition derbies a year. And if I do decide to run the Impala, which I probably am, it can go to many more derbies because it's going to be more stock. This car would have been able to go to many more derbies, but we made that kind of not possible with this suspension swap. So got the new tie rods in there, got the new tie rod end, got the new brakes, got the new assembly. This is the absolutely complete assembly. We got 1 washer instead of 2. We originally had 2 washers. Found out it can actually pass with just 1, so that's good. So I have more threads to go on to, because that would be a very stupid way to get out, if somebody hit this and it broke and it just snapped off because there's not enough threads holding it on. That'd be a very dumb way to get out. So basically what we're going to rule is the end of this car is if this front frame bends. If this front frame bends, this car is done. You do not want to save this car anymore. Basically, I'm going to be going probably front end most of the time because it's a W body, and you know what? I'm still willing to win, but I'm pretty sick of this car and I kind of want to get rid of it. I want to start on something new. Been having a lot of bad luck with this car, but we now have a new shifter in. I'm going to be taking that column shifter actually fully out so I don't get tricked by it or it gets in the way or whatever. We're going to be taking that shifter out. We already have this shifter in. Actually, I think we need to tighten down this shifter a little bit more, but this is actually off an Impala, and it fits. Actually, the stock holes in the floor on on this car are the same exact mounting holes on all the W bodies. So we were literally able to go through the stock holes on the bottom of the shifter, which is very helpful. I strongly recommend this method if you have a cable like mine was, which was sticking out all the way. It would almost hit the core support. It was going out so far here, and that's what ended up taking me out in the last demo as well. This is the new cable right here. It goes through the firewall in the stock place. You guys can see it. It's right there. Actually, that right there, that rubber thing going around it, that's actually the stock grommet, like the little rubber thing that goes around that wire from factory. It was just that they put metal in the way, and then once you started actually cutting holes in it, we actually found out that is the stock rubber, like, I don't know what you call it. I'm calling it a grommet, but I'm not sure if that's the right word to use, that it uses. So that's pretty cool. It goes up through here, around here. We're gonna wrap it to everything else down over here. We have all the wires going around the front of the motor here, which might be not a great spot to have them, but you know what? I don't know whether this front end's gonna bend that much, but hopefully it doesn't. Might actually push this back a little bit more. We're gonna tie strap that to the motor, what we have the gas lines actually strapped to right now. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm going to be making sure all these wires are good. And I made a big mistake because I was originally trying to drill a hole for the shifter. I was trying to drill it over here. And I thought I was like above this or below it or something. But my drill went straight through the main wiring harness. Straight through it and cut a bunch of cables. This car wouldn't start. It popped two 60 amp fuses. And it was pretty terrible. We thought that was a major setback, and it kind of was, but luckily my father pretty much does electrical stuff for a living, so, and computers and stuff like that. I won't get any more farther in than that. But that's kind of what he does for a living, and luckily he's kind of a specialist in this kind of stuff, so the car runs fine now. I got two 60 amp fuses from the Impala, believe it or not. Actually, I only grabbed one, I think, because we had a spare one sitting around. But I actually grabbed one from the Impala, which came into very good use. Now, you may be wondering why these plates are here. I know I'm all over the place, guys, but you know, I'm trying to show you guys what I've changed. These plates are here. That was because when I drove this car down here, this is the first time this car actually came out of the tent. It drove around the yard. I drove around the yard, and when I parked here, my hood was kind of sitting up a little bit. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? I opened the hood, and this rubber boot here, was sticking that far out. Literally. Was sticking so far out that it wasn't even funny. I was like, whoa, 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 what the heck's going on here? So we decided to weld a plate to hold that down, because you know, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but if anybody owns a Lumina, they know that there's a plate over the strut tower, and I think that's pretty much what keeps this in. So we pretty much made that plate, but differently, and we did the same thing on the other side. So, yeah, a lot has changed, and then again, not a lot has changed. I got rid of Yoi tube from the side here. I said, that looks terrible, I don't want to keep it. This paint actually is a little wet still, I think. I painted this morning. So, I got rid of Yoi tube, and I'm not going to do anything about the roof sign. It looks absolutely terrible, and if somebody has, I think I might have a little condition of OCD, and that is bothering me so bad. That little 2 is just a little too far down, and if it was a little closer then I wouldn't mind, but that is really bothering me, but I'm sure it is probably you too. If you guys have OCD at all or something like that. Sure, it's bothering you too, but you know what? I don't care, really. I just want to kind of get this car finished off. Hopefully I do well with it. It's still got a ton of life in it, as you guys can see. This is a pre-ran. This is a pre-ran car. It's got basically the whole entire trunk. Nothing has been in the trunk, like I said before. Nothing. This is actually the first time we've seen the trunk in a long time. And really nothing is bent except for that corner. And when I hit the guy, it was kind of like this. I hit right here, as you guys can see. And it pushed it, I kind of pushed it down a little bit, as you guys can see. It's kind of down a little bit compared to this other side. But it started pushing it in, as you guys can see there. Huge crease here. I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with this rear end. This is the second rear end I've ever creased, I think. And the Ford Taurus was the first. I know these probably have a more, are more likely to plow down than the Ford Tauruses are. You don't see that too often with Ford Tauruses, but these cars are so often, it's not even funny. You got to get really lucky to get it to go up, and to go up nicely at least. And weird part is that it might actually, the frame might bend up, but the body might bend down. That's going to be the weird part. We're going to have to see what happens tomorrow to this trunk. It's going to be interesting. Let's see. I'm probably going to post this video tonight, I hope. I might post it late tomorrow. But, yep. Here's the 02 car, the 02. That's why we got Derby Dog 02, because that's going to be that's my running number. So, there we go. I told you guys we'd get it finished, so thumbs up. Need to fill the gas tank, we're all good to go, pretty much. Everything else is just optional. So if this car kind of looks a little different, then you guys will know why. So, see you guys in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe. The next video very well could be the Demolition Derby. I also do want to mention that I'm not going to be able to get a test drive video in. I don't think, because we're just running too far out of time to do that. It's about 4 o'clock right now, or maybe even 4:30 by now. So, just running out of daylight, pretty much. Got about 5 hours, and we're going to be working on that trailer for pretty much the rest of today. So, alright, well, see you guys in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe. Bye-bye, everybody. See you guys at the demo.